Yeah, you see the championship belt if you're watching on live. Welcome to the 216 Sports Network, Facebook and YouTube page. Welcome to another episode of Straub Sports Show. Big bro here, little bro, reminding us this is not his part-time job. He does love doing this with me. Welcome back, little bro. I did tell the world that you were out doing big boy job stuff, but so we didn't think you were just skipping on us. But welcome back.
Thank you. It's actually Coach Straub now. After leading my Bearcats to an abysmal 5-7 season the first year, we are 4-0 heading into week 5, taking on Iowa State. It's going to be a great game. You know, we got the boys amped up and ready to go.
My Coach Andy Straub's Notre Dame Fighting Irish are currently 7-0. They just got done wiping the tail with your Cincinnati Bearcats, who I added to the schedule this year. I do want to give you a shout out because you went up 7-0 on me. You went up 10-7. You had it real close, and then I put up 34 unanswered on you. But that's how it goes. You know, the beatdowns ensue. Shout out to my guy Craig in here. Let's get weird. But yeah, welcome in, bro. Welcome back. Welcome everybody in on the 216 Sports Network. The 216 Sports Network, that's where you can find all of us. Who's all of us? This is all of us. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. Mel just put up a brand new episode. Yesterday, 2 days ago. Please make sure you go check that out for all my martial arts fans. The Jay Rich Show, the Ruler's Minute with Rico McGee. Rico McGee just put out 3 episodes this past week. Make sure you go out, check out his Mac Media Day podcast next week or the week after me and Little Bro decide which week we would be doing the Mac. We are going to have Rico on to help us preview the MAC conference and the MAC championship game. Outside interference, I don't want to say with who, but outside interference with Bob, and of course, Straub Sports Show. Straub Sports Show. You can find us anywhere and everywhere that you can want to find a podcast and podcast information. We're on TikTok at the SBSS, all kinds of fun stuff there. We are on Twitter or X at Straub Sports. You can get all kinds of live game updates depending on some of the bigger games. You can see me drunk ranting on Saturday nights about big sporting things I want to cry and yell about. Little bro keeping up on stuff there too. Make sure you check out the Instagram. The Instagram is blowing up big. Straub Sports Show. I'm getting updates all the time, left and right. 500 views on this video, 1,500 views on this video. It's huge there. That's where you can catch all mine and Straub's interviews with Akron City FC coaches and players. You can catch some of our shorts, and you can find links to all of the podcasts. You can hit the reels, or you can hit the stories. You can hit the saves there, and you can find access to all of the podcasts. And you can find us on Spotify, Straub Sports Show. That's where you can find us all over the place. Want a big shout out to KZ Productions. We're on the YouTube page today. Make sure you like and follow them as well. You see me rocking it today. We are not solo polo today, but we still rocking the polo. Big shouts out to my guy Austin Fink for these custom polos. You're gonna see me rocking this every week because I love the thing. Create your own wave apparel. Follow them on Instagram. Create your own wave 2021. My guy Austin is working on vacation. My guy is on vacation, sending me Snapchats. I thought was going to be beers on the beach. No, it was work. So shout out to my guy, Austin. He's always getting it done. He's a big fan and a big friend of the show there. Make sure you check out the merch at cyowapparel.myshopify.com. Don't ride the wave. Create your own. Last but certainly never least, Old Time Candy. I don't even like putting the graphic up. I like putting the box up. The box. Oh, see, I told you if I open up the box, it was going to fall, everybody. The box is bare, okay? The box is getting empty. Oldtimecandy.com. Your old-fashioned candy from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. All right, find them on Facebook, oldtimecandy.com. Check them out. Promo code SBSS for 15% off. There's deals all the time. I'm sharing them on my Facebook and on the Instagram as well. Make sure you check them out. Now, let's get to our event, Straub, before we actually get rolling into the show. The Straub Sports Show is all over the place. First things first, we will not be at this week's Cage Thunder MMA event because no media will be at this event. It's going to be a closed show. Only can catch it if you're there. Much respect to them. Much love to them. And big ups to Alex. He called me and told me about it. But August 17th, all right, Cage Thunder, Fight in the Flats. Okay, headlined by Ohio and Bedford's own Jarrell Hodge. Tickets are on sale. The Straub Bro Sports Show will be in attendance for that one. Okay, so everything that you thought we were going to do for this one, we're going to be doing it for the big show down in the flats. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you catch us there. Look for the polos. You'll find us. It'll be easy. Also, I'm not done. I got all kinds of stuff. Boss wanted me to give some love to this right here, Night of Destiny. It is, and I want to make sure I have all of the dates correct. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sunday, July 28th.
Yeah, there's Sunday, July 28th. You will be crowned the EFW World Heavyweight Championship, the first ever. Dios Salvador versus Ashton Day. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be a good show. Now, this is a big one for us. August 11th, 3 to 6 at Knuckleheads Bar in Parma. I want to give a big shout out to Jenny for having us. The Straub Bro Sports Show will be there. We are going to be in attendance because we are going to be helping out with the raffle. We are going to be helping out with doing some kind of promotion. You know, we're going to go basically live and we're going to give you some Straub Bro Sports Show action. And while we're there at this amazing fundraiser, all of this stuff, it's $40 to get in. All of this stuff goes to gifts for underprivileged kids. But while the Straub Bro Sports Show is there, what are we going to do, Straub? We are going to be interviewing Cleveland Browns great Hanford Dixon. How do you feel about that, kid?
I think that's something that I will have the amazing opportunity to do. I'm very blessed, but I think it'll be even more incredible to our father and all of the other older Browns fans that have watched him play, and is going to be really exciting to do because I have a lot of questions about what he thinks about, today's NFL and today's, Browns team. So,
yeah, it's going to be awesome. So what we're going to do, and I don't want to spoil too much because, it's going to be a good time, but we're going to go live. We're going to give you kind of a taste of what's going on. We're going to let all the Browns fans there go absolutely nuts. Kind of like we did for the Rubber City Underground. And we're going to kind of give you a taste of what's going on. Like I said, if you want to come, it's at Knuckleheads in Parma. Tickets are $40. You can be there. Like I said, you can get raffle tickets. You can get some stuff signed, I do believe, by Hanford Dixon himself. And then, like I said, all of this stuff goes to underprivileged kids. I have advanced knowledge of this fundraiser because my mother has been working with Jenny, who owns Knuckleheads, for a long time. So I've known about this fundraiser for years because it's important to them. They set aside their weekends, not just for the fundraiser, then when they go shopping for all the kids, then when they literally ride around and go drop all of these gifts off for the kids. It's a great thing. And there was some rumors behind the scenes of us being involved. So when we got the call, I absolutely jumped on this. I wanted to be a part of it no matter what. So yeah, like I said, we're going to go live. We're going to have some fun. We'll talk to a couple Browns fans. And then, like I said, we'll interview Hanford. We'll get his views on the Browns, the NFL, the upcoming Hall of Fame class, where big brother for sure, little brother TBD, I will be at the Hall of Fame ceremony on August 3rd. I will be in the press conferences trying to throw Straub Bro Sports Show questions at all of the Hall of Famers. So we'll get Hanford Dixon's opinion on those guys going in and going forward. Like I said, that's August 11th. Going forward, as I just said, spoiler alert, Straub Bro Sports Show will be at the NFL Hall of Fame ceremony. I have the privilege and being credentialed for that for the first time. Big shout out to Mel for getting me on that list, and a little bro on that list too. We will see if he is in attendance as well. Thoughts on all of those things coming up, bro?
Listen, we're ending summer, but we're ending hot. We are ending absolutely blazing with all the content we're going to put out, and I'm excited to be a part of it all. And I hope everyone is too, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to be a part of, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to this interview. It's going to be our first. I mean, it's a big time interview. I'm not gonna lie. Our first big time interview. We're gonna make sure we don't mess that up. And absolutely, I appreciate all that love. And you know what? I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, awful. I give that to you. I give you that one, Ray. Okay, enough of talking about us. That's gross. Let's talk about the news. Or some of the bigger things that are going on in sports. Bro, it was the first thing on my list. I had it teed up and ready to go, man. I was so excited for this. TNT set to match the $1.8 billion offer made by Amazon for the NBA. The NBA being with TNT since 1988 inside the NBA, the best pregame show along with College Game Day and the best post-game show in sports. We needed it. We got it. And then the NBA rejected TNT's deal and went with Amazon's deal.
Yeah, this is a deal that is definitely a future-minded deal. It sucks for fans that love the commentary like myself. But if you look at it in terms of a purely financial move, right? You are going to lose obviously some viewership due to Chuck and Kenny and Ernie and Shaq not being on there. You're going to lose viewers, obviously. However, you are going to gain, I think, a little more in people that are going to stream some of these games and not have to turn on TNT on like their TV to watch it. And Amazon, now they have multiple deals with the NFL, it is becoming much more accessible to watch multiple sports on one streaming service, which is honestly what we've been asking for. I don't like the move because I want to watch the best commentators comment on the best games. I am fully supportive of that, and that's why I wish they would have won with TNT's deal. But in terms of a business aspect for future earnings down the line, it makes sense. Is it a basketball move? No, it is a money move, 100%. And that's unfortunately what we have to deal with in today's day and age.
Boo everything you said. Boo everything you just said. Moving on.
I said I didn't agree with it.
I know it sucks. It sucks, and I hope I don't know. I hope we can figure it out. I hope we can find a way. The way sometimes announcers just kind of switch around and do different things. I hope we can find a way to get that inside the NBA crew doing games, because here's what I do know. Chuck basically said he'll retire. Kenny might go. Shaq might go, but Ernie Johnson has already said he's not leaving TNT. He does too much there between the NCAA, the NBA, the golf, everything else.
And they've helped him so much, honestly.
Yep, and he's talked about it
for him. So
the way that the way that Turner has been there for him with all of the stuff with his son and everything else. Rest in peace to his son. But with all of the stuff that he's had, he's not leaving TNT. So we need to figure out a way to keep them on TV, but we will figure that out in the coming months. Shout out to Amazon for getting into the sports game and being a real player in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
So, all right. Speaking of TV deals, we've got another one to talk about. This one I'm I'm way more optimistic about. The WNBA signed a $2.2 billion media rights deal with Disney, Amazon Prime Video. Hey, those guys sound familiar? We weren't just talking about them. And NBC Universal. That's huge. It's the biggest media deal that they have ever had. Shout out to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, Brittany Griner, because they're the reason for that deal.
Yeah, and this is absolutely massive. I think that even if this comes to a point where they may not recoup that, which I think they will anyways, but just the fact that this has come out with that amount of money, you are going to get eyeballs on this just by the dollar amount that is getting signed. And so they've already seen, obviously, their record number of viewership in the league this year. I think that's going to continue to grow, and it's going to be very, very fun to see how much we can grow this game, because it's looking really, really good so far.
Way to push through that lag. It didn't mess you up there. I missed this comment before. Big shout out to Rico for checking in. I already knew he was going to come on and talk back with us. But yes. They're going to get eyes on this. Number one, they're still on track to lose $50 million this year. But here's the thing, and we know this all too well, man. The WNBA is a small business still in terms of the other sports leagues. You got to spend money to make money. So yes, they're going to lose $50 million, but you pump this $2.2 billion in, you fix a couple things, you get a couple things better, and you start to move in the right direction. All right.
Yeah, look at the MLS.
Lucky agrees. Oh, yeah. Look at the MLS, who continues to still F it up by going behind a paywall and still manages to make some money.
Yeah, so you need some time, and we're gonna get there.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. And we'll keep this one kind of quick because to me this is just kind of funny. In your NFL news, Jordan Love, CD Lamb, Trent Williams won't practice without a contract. Neither will I.
Question for you.
Yes.
Obviously, I think Jordan Love is the biggest one if they're off the field for more time than just practice. CD or Trent, what's the bigger deal?
CD, because he's because offensive linemen tend to usually get paid. Although San Francisco's got some issues right now because they don't have money to spread around. CD's a problem. I'm gonna. Jerry is effing this one up, and I'm gonna scold Jerry, and then I'm gonna give Jerry some dap that I think he deserves because he's getting made fun of for it. Oh, and shout out to Craig, Chase, Jamar Chase for the Bengals as well. Jerry has CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott all ready to be paid. Micah Parsons is a top 3 defensive MVP candidate. CeeDee Lamb is a top, I would say 5. I know a lot of people would go back and forth, but he's a top 8 wide receiver in the NFL, top 10. Okay. He deserves to get paid. Dak Prescott, I don't give an F what those GMs say, is not a top 10 quarterback. He is a top 15 quarterback. He does not deserve another contract. The other 2 deserve to get paid. Jerry is effing that up. Where Jerry deserves some credit. Well, how are the Cowboys all in if he didn't spend this money and they didn't go? That's not what the all in comment was about. We're all in. Here, all of you, we are all in. So put up, or none of you are getting paid, and I'm getting rid of all of you. I think Mike McCarthy. I think Dak Prescott. I think I'd stop there. This is it. We're all in. You go. So I think it's a messed up one. And I would put CD put CD above Trent because the last thing I need is my offensive lineman eating up reps. He can sit.
That's fair.
So, but I mean, we'll see. All of these things, I mean, this just kind of started. Camp's just opening up. These things have time to get sorted out and played out. But we will see. In some other news, switching from the other football to the college ranks before we dive big into the college ranks, the ACC is in a fight to keep Clemson and FSU. They've already vowed that they're going to do whatever it takes. You missed it on last week's show. I kind of gave some slack to FSU because it's been reported that the ACC is fed up with them and that the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10 want nothing to do with them. So at some point, this thing is quacking. This thing is yellow. This thing's got a bill. And it's swimming in around. It's a duck. And not an Oregon duck.
Clemson I get. Because, there's going to be teams that are conferences that want Clemson in their conference. I completely get that. Oh, wow. What is the ACC fighting so hard for? Florida State. Nobody wants Florida State. If they leave, they're going to have to go to either the Pac-2 or a group of 5 conference. And so Florida State, I get you want a more piece of the pie, but you know what you do? You wait for Clemson to leave, and then you're the second best team in the ACC, and then you make the deal in the new contract.
You're the who's better in the ACC right now than Florida State?
I would say it depends.
While you're just continuing to disrespect an entire fan base, I mean, just keep it going. Oh, you froze on a good time. Way to freeze up there right when I was about to call you out on that. That could not have worked out any better for you. I'll load you back up here in a second. I mean, but it's we talked about it like I said last week. There's no you froze up at the perfect time. We'll let that slide. Okay. I mean, yeah, and I'm gonna agree with Mel here. You know, they're a marquee team in the ACC since the 90s. They've been championship contender. Just last year, they were a championship contender. So I mean, it's not like they're out of it. But I think the problem is they've overvalued their own selves though. Like
Yeah.
you should have taken it while it was there, and they wanted more and they wanted more, and where they got greedy, because this is what not a lot of teams have not done this. When they want to leave, they leave. Florida State flirted with leaving to then go back to the ACC and go, well, they want us, so now you got to give us this. And the ACC was like, no, go. All right, fine. We're going back to the other team. Well, then when they went back to that league went, so wait a minute, you didn't even want to be here. You just wanted to flirt with us to go get some more money from you. Yeah, no, we're good on you. So I get it, but ACC, you are not long from becoming the Pac-2 yourself. So be careful. Basketball can't save you. Football, there's too much money in football. It can't save you. So that's the only thing I would be worried about there, Florida State. But we'll talk about more on that when we get more in depth on the ACC, when we break them down here in the next coming weeks as we get ready for the biggest college football season of all time. I don't know about that, but we'll see. In my last bit of news, unless Drew's got something else, something kind of big. Mike Trout will be evaluated again after leaving his rehab assignment. I kind of put that in to ask this question. Are we embarking on one of the biggest cases of wasted talent of all time? Mike Trout is a generational 5-tool Hall of Fame worthy talent and player. And in baseball, where you have to have a deep team and you have to have other players around you, they have won nothing. He has won nothing, and he's remained loyal to the Angels. How long before this is an absolute failure of a career?
So I wrote this down in my notes because I really wanted to get this point out. Mike Trout needs to look in at himself and say, I am not the person who could play 162 games anymore. I am not the person that is going to have to play center field every single day and play every single day. There is a new generation coming. They are fun. They are exciting. Give me 3 or 4 more years. If you want to join a contender and go win something, nobody will blame you for leaving that organization. Nobody. We kind of did with Shohei a little bit just because he was so used to you've been in there. But Mike, you've been there
for a little
bit.
Right.
Mike, you've been there forever. Go to the Dodgers.
Go to the Yankees.
I really don't want you to go to. I don't want you to go to the Yankees, but I would get it.
Care.
Go get yourself a chip.
Right. I don't care where he goes. This is Kevin Garnett. I know you're young. This is Kevin Garnett when he finally got out of Minnesota. Okay. Everybody cheered for it. We were all happy. Okay. Yes, I did not like the Boston Celtics, but man, I was happy as hell KG got his ring. Okay. This is, I don't even know who else to put it to. This is Dame in Portland. Okay. I'm done. This is worse than Dame in Portland. Okay. Because at least Dame, they tried to build some teams around him. Mike Trout has had nothing but him and Ohtani. They couldn't do it together. Ohtani was smart and was like, nah, man, I'm going to go get paid and go sit on and go get me a ring. Please, Mike Trout, leave Los Angeles. Go across town. Go to the Padres. I don't care. Go to the Cubs. Go to the Cardinals.
Play 80 games at half his DH and win a chip.
Please. I don't want to see him there anymore. And like I said, I don't care. I'm a Guardians fan through and through. Okay, go to the Yankees. I don't even care. I don't even care. Or who else? Go to Baltimore. I don't know.
Go to Philly.
Sure. Absolutely, dude. Let's get Bryce Harper and Mike Trout back to back in a lineup. I'm here for it. That is must-see baseball. But yeah,
exactly.
All right, let's give away a couple of awards.
Ooh.
Hold on 1 second. Absolutely not Kansas City. Get out of here, Nick. I don't want him in the division. Come on, Nick.
Go ahead. I got some.
You got some more news? Okay, give me some more news.
So, as some of us know, the Olympics have started.
Okay, we're going
which
to
is actually
okay.
Well, just the news section that I sent you the other day.
Okay.
So the ceremony is Friday, but some games have started. And the first game was Argentina versus Morocco. Now, Morocco came up to a 2-0 lead early on, but Argentina stormed back. It was 2-1, and then at a last-ditch effort, it was 2-2 after a scramble in the box led to an Argentina goal. Immediately after, Morocco fans threw bottles. They were throwing, setting flares, and the referee grabbed both teams and suspended the game. Now, everyone thought that the game had been finished, but in actuality, it had just been delayed. And after an hour and a half of deliberation, VAR disallowed Argentina's goal and then gave the victory to Morocco at the end of the game, which I find the most hilarious thing, because by definition, they followed the rules of VAR and suspended play. But you imagine thinking you pulled out a draw at the last second, only for once you got cleaned, got showered, got back to your hotel, you found out you had lost the game.
All right. So, full play-by-play. I did not watch that game. I forgot they had started, but I did flip on and watch our U.S. men. We'll get to that later, or here in a minute. But then during the game, they had mentioned, all they said was that there was a 2-hour delay in the game, blah, 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 blah. I didn't hear everything in. So I was like, it's Europe. There's storms. There's bad weather, So I was like, it must have been some lightning or something. So then this dude, sends me a link and he's like, man, did you see what happened? And I'm like, no. So I fly in and I read this. And what was my response? What the did I just read? Because that wasn't real. That's not real. That's not real. We just 2 hours later. Oh, hey, by the way, we're good. So if that's the case, I'm going to get on my soapbox right now. Andres Galarraga, you have a no-hitter. We're going back in time, and we're just going to give that to you, since we can now go back after the game is over. So it's all done. We can now go back when the game is over and change what happened, which means I don't give a shit from this point forward. You go back and fix every bad thing that has ever happened. Tuck rule, gone. Patriots, no Super Bowl there. The Bush push, that's right here. I'll get personal. The Bush push, an illegal flag on the play. We're going to go back and reverse that. Notre Dame wins. We were clearly the best team in the country that year. That's a 12th national championship for the Notre Dame fight. We're just going to go back. Okay? Because it doesn't matter anymore. Because we can just go back whenever we want and change the fucking outcome of the game.
Fair. Also, you brought it up, so I want to say it. Congratulations, Dylan Cease, throwing the second no-hitter in Padres history today.
You just took my damn other Straub Bro of the week that I picked up on the fly.
Sorry. Now you have like 5 instead of like 6. I'm sorry.
I only have 1.
Oh, I'm proud of you. I have 1 too, and I hope it's not the same because we didn't deliberate.
That's funny as hell. Go ahead. Oh, is that it? All right. Yeah. Shout out to you, Dylan Cease. Yeah, but this is awful. This is just awful. You know what though? It is kind of. I got Argentina fatigue. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? Yeah. You know what? Get over it. You just won the World Cup. You just won Copa America. Get over it. Okay. Sorry, you can't have it all. You'll be all right. All right. So, before we get into the Olympics, let's give away some awards. It's time for your honorary Straub Bros of the Week, presented to you by Create Your Own Wave Apparel. Don't ride the wave. Create your own and become a Straub Bro of the Week. Straubo, give me yours.
Yes. So it's technically one, but it's to a group. And I'm going to go on based on the comment I made in the beginning of the show. My Straub Bro of the Week is the team that made the EA college football video game, because my lord, this might be one of the most fun sports games I've ever played. The details in this game, well, the details in any game are what make a game go from decent to amazing, and they have hit every single detail. This is a game that I could literally play all year and find new ways to find it interesting. They have custom conferences. They have create your own players. They have You can
It's
be
a
an
commercial.
offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. You could transfer. It's absolutely amazing. And I just want to say thank you for making this game again because it's been so long, and I'm so happy I wasn't disappointed.
When you start getting the checks from EA, bitch, you might as well share. My lord, as you just do a commercial. We'll clip that and just send that to you. There's
It's
your
all I've
commercial for
been doing since it came out.
my lord. That and going to Guardians games. My goodness. Nobody
Yeah,
the only
that's
person who's
it.
been the only person who's been downtown more than you lately is the actual Guardians players and Andre Knott. Rico McGee playing with Georgia Tech. Yeah, that'll be the only time they beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this year because they're definitely not going to be when I roll into Georgia Tech because that's who's next on my schedule for when I'm done with the podcast. I'm not going to act like I'm not going to turn this off and go play my game.
Right.
And we're going to smack Georgia Tech in real life, but we'll get to that at another time. My Straub Bros insists of the week. First things first, Xander Schauffele for winning the Open Championship with an amazing 65 on Sunday to now have 2 majors after hearing at the beginning of the year that he couldn't get one. So shout out to you, Xander. Way to be who you are and be a boss. Oh, what a
Yeah.
tough course and what a tough weekend of weather, man. Like normally the weather is always kind of bad sometimes on Thursdays and Fridays and gets better on the weekend. Man, they had bad weather Thursday. It got a little better Friday and then Saturday was just dog crap. But so yeah, shout out to him. And then you will see this. You've already heard it in the news. You will be able to watch it tomorrow. I want to give special congratulations to LeBron James and to Coco Gauff as they will be representing the United States of America and they will be flag bearers in the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. That opening ceremony is Friday. Absolutely awesome. I love it. Just a hometown boy from Akron who reps the land as well. And Coco Gauff, who is an amazing tennis player, an amazing person in terms of her social justice trumpeting and her mental health advocacy as well. She's a big advocate on that as well. So shout out to both of them. Congratulations to them for that as well. And those are your Straub Bros of the week. Remember, don't ride the wave, create your own, and be a Straub Bro of the week. All right, let's get into this thing. Speaking of the Olympics, they have started. And listen, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm a sports junkie. You've figured it out if you've listened to, obviously, you've listened to this show from October when we've gone from everything from college football to baseball to college basketball to college baseball to now back into the NBA, all over the place. All right. You slap some sports on it, you slap a gold medal on it, and you put my country involved. Oh, no, I'm in. Okay. Now I'm in. So the Olympic Games kicked off early with some rugby, which I have been watching, and some soccer. So we've got to touch on it. The United States of America kicked off their group play against France. Unfortunately, we got our butts whooped 3-0. But and I even got some text. Shout out to my guy Nick, who hit me up in the group chat and was like, "Team USA, did we f up?" I don't think so, bro. We are not expected to medal here. France is. We want to make it out of the group stage. We want to have some fun from there. Correct?
Yeah, listen, you're playing the host country in the first match. That's
Scenes, by the
borderline
way. Scenes.
impossible.
Amazing scenes, by the way, of just how the French people come out, not just for the Olympics, but for their soccer teams as well.
Yeah. And listen, we held them to a 0-0 draw in the first half. And so we just got tired. We couldn't keep up with them. And France in general as a soccer nation is really, really good. But we'll put some more hope on this. So obviously, France 3-0. We play New Zealand on the 27th, which should be a win. And we play Guinea on the 30th, which it should be a win. So those are 2 games that we should win, get out of the group, and we have some stuff that we can go from there.
Remember, that's not Old Guinea, that's New Guinea. I just wanted to point that out there. So yeah, these are 2 winnable games. We should get out of this group. Top 2 in the group advance. We should have no problems getting out of this group. France should run through with 9 points, no problems. Yeah. And yeah, once you get into the medal stage, once you get to the knockout stage, it's all on from there. Teams play differently. There's going to be a bit of, that knockout stage, where we talked about it for Copa and we talked about it for Europe. Big teams can lose because they are either controlling possession too much with nothing deadly, or, they're kind of sitting back, being cautious. Things can happen. That's all I got to say. So let's get out of the group stage. And for me, it's a win for the United States men's national team because they haven't even been there since 2008. So get there, get out of the group, and let's go from there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, the rest of your Olympics, I mean, literally, none of the good stuff has happened yet. Let's just be honest. Okay. The swimming hasn't started and they're not running yet. Okay. So we got some time. A lot of preliminary stuff going on right now. Your group stages. The men's basketball team, I do believe, kick off, I think, next week. I don't think they start this week, but all kinds of good stuff going on. We're going to keep you updated on your medal count all around, and then we will absolutely be diving in on all things Team USA. Katie Ledecky going to go out there and whoop some absolute butt, as she has been for the longest time. I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited for Sha'Carri Richards. I'm super excited for these relays. Like, I mean, the 100 meters is the most exciting thing in sports. So listen, we're pro Olympics over here. We obviously can't do anything but put up a medal count because I even feel like saying the Olympics might get us pulled off of YouTube. But we will keep you as updated as we possibly can. Yes, there's breakdancing in the Olympics. I'm all about it.
I am watching that.
We will
That's
keep
gonna
you
be on the
updated
big
on
screen.
that. The wrestling is a big thing this year. Baseball and softball are back in the wait. I know softball's back. Is baseball back too yet?
I think it's just softball for now.
Just softball. So Team USA, we're running the gold on that. There's no question there. We could have just sent Oklahoma. We literally could have just sent Oklahoma. They won 4 in a row. We could have just sent Oklahoma and we could have got it done. But we'll get it done in softball. But like I said, yeah, this is about as patriotic as I get. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the World Cup and the Olympics, man. I'm all in. Is there badminton? We got some. Is there?
Of course, we're not gonna win, but we're gonna play badminton.
No, what's the other one? Is there paddleball?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Is there pickleball?
I don't think so.
Hey, if we need pickleball, shout out to Coach Antonio Manfoot of the Cleveland Crunch, who actually I saw recently won a pickleball tournament. We'll just send him. I mean, the dude's won a futsal World Cup. We'll just send Coach Manfoot. We'll get it done.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that'll wrap it up for your Olympics. Like I said, opening opening ceremony Friday, and then we'll kind of really dive in next week, get you going, and kind of go from there. You ready to talk some baseball?
Let's do it.
Let's talk some baseball. It's time to guard the land. The boys are back in town, and it was rough coming out of the All-Star break. Let's be honest.
Me.
Yeah, I know you've been at every one of them damn games. It is now a 5-game lead in the Central. I'm sorry. I think it dropped back down to 4 after the loss today. I don't know how updated that is. Oh, it is 5 still. Okay, so we're up to 5. Twins and Royals, as you see, are in there. The Tigers, every time they play us, they gain more ground, and then they lose it again when they go back away from playing us. But there's been some issues for the Guardians over the last 7 days, bro. Since we've come back from the All-Star game. And what has that issue been? They can't hit.
No.
And what do I mean by that? I mean, these guys are not hitting. Okay. This is your top 10. I'm sorry, 12 since returning from the All-Star break. Okay. You have, 3 guys above 500. Okay. And 2 of them, Tyler Freeman and Austin Hedges, don't play every day. Okay. I mean, neither does David Fry, but he gets way more at bats. Your big guys, Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan. I mean, Jose's flirting with 300. I mean, Steven Kwan started off very bad and is kind of coming along now. But then look at the rest. I mean, Josh Naylor's an all-star. As of yesterday, before he hit that game-winning hit, which clutch, win games. I mean, it was 06, 087. Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, these guys are – Andre Jimenez isn't even batting 100. I mean, these guys are not hitting. They're getting saved by the bullpen. And we'll talk about bullpen numbers here in a second because I've got some great bullpen numbers. But I mean, talk about it, bro. These guys aren't hitting.
Yeah, no, and it's so frustrating because you watch these at bats and they're just not good at bats. Like they're not taking pitches, they're not fouling good, bad pitches off to stay into counts. They're swinging and missing at good and bad pitches. And the issue is, like you pointed out, Andre Jimenez, everyday starter. Josh Naylor, everyday starter. Daniel Schneemann, starting most games. Rocchio starting a decent amount at shortstop. Will Brennan, the start of the year, started every single game. Bo Naylor, your starting catcher. All these guys are under 250. And it's really just it's infuriating when you're actually getting some decent stuff from your starting pitcher and your bullpen, but the stuff that was working in the first half of the year is not working anymore because we just can't get runs in. On when we played Detroit and we had lost, I want to say it was like 8-2. Both the Detroit Tigers and the Guardians had 12 hits apiece, but the Guardians left 11 guys on base. So it's not just hitting in general, it's clutch hitting and it's getting RBIs in. And that's the massive issue here is we can get guys on, we can walk. Kwan is always good for a leadoff hit or a hit, later in the game. But when you get to guys like Naylor, like Jimenez, like Schneemann, they can't bring guys in. And that's the hardest part about this.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I'll give Josh, listen, Josh is my guy. Okay. So I'll give him all the credit in the world last night. Okay. But so you can be clutch, but it can't be like this. Okay. And I'm sorry, that's Detroit. Okay. Baltimore's not playing that game last night. Baltimore's putting you away. Okay. The Yankee, whoever it is, they're putting you away. I do want to give Bo some credit though. Okay. Bo seems to be somebody who takes a lot. Okay. Thankfully for him this year, Rocchio and some of the other younger guys have taken the stick away. But this popped up, so I'll give the Guardians the key for this because I looked at this up while I was beating up on your Bearcats last night on NCAA, and they were talking to Bo after the game. In the last 25 games for Bo Naylor, 275, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. So yes, he did slow down a bit after the break, but 275, he's at 222. He's gonna come back around, and he's been playing better than he's given credit for. I think sometimes we're a little bit tougher on catchers sometimes, and we don't always realize how hard that position is and the wear and tear it takes on your body. And there's a reason guys like Sandy Alomar Jr., El Salvador Perez, Pudge Rodriguez, I can't think of what's his name from the Cardinals, and I so apologize. Molina, like there are guys like that, like they're rare, man. And there's a reason once they're done, they go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the issue is we have had an extremely lucky stretch of catchers since the 90s. Sandy Alomar Jr., Victor Martinez, Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes, Roberto Perez, and even though he isn't as good as the others, Hedges, in terms of his ability to be well in the locker room, has given him an advantage. When you see Bo, you saw all this promise of him being another one of those players. And just because he's a little under expectation, I think he's getting a lot of stick for it.
100%. So I wanted to give him some love. Now, it was a lot of rain. So let's clear it out. Let it rain. Clear it out. Okay? Here's your chicken noodle soup, and here's your soda on the side. The bullpen, man. Okay? First in ERA, first in opponent average with runs in scoring position, first in inherited run scored percentage. It used to be with this bullpen when we were good a couple years ago, we get to the 7th, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, it's lights out. Dude, get to the 5th and this game is over. Okay? Yeah. We don't have the starting pitching. We may not need it. Okay, we'll just spot start every damn game in the playoffs with whoever's around that day and whoever's got the arm for it. Get us to 5, and the bullpen's going to just take it away.
Don't give me a heart attack like that, please. I don't need that.
And a big shout out to Emmanuel Clase, who is on climbing and very possible this year could break Cody Allen's all-time Cleveland Guardians save record. I would love it. I think he needs to be locked up long-term. I think Emmanuel Clase should be a Guardian for life. I think when you find a guy like that, you just lock him up. Trevor Hoffman in San Diego, You know what I mean? Like when a guy's there, at least you always know it's going to be a save when you got the lead. Build around it from there. You always want to know that back end of the bullpen is good. All right. And the back end of our bullpen is great. So, and I think that definitely starts with him right there. And go ahead, dive in on the rest of the guards.
Listen, I think it's a stretch that we need to get out of. And I think once we hit the later half of the year, we're going to see what this team's really made of. Are they going to bounce back from this slow start, or are they actually going to come to play and come back? But like I said, we have the rest of the MLB to look forward to. So I guess we'll just take a quick look. Baltimore and the Yankees obviously heading up the East. Houston, we told y'all they were going to come back. We knew that slow start was not going to be a thing, that was going to stay for long. And so you have Houston now in first over Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were waiting on me. My bad, big guy. Yeah. We said we knew Houston was coming back. It's not a surprise they've just jumped to the top there. And I mean, Baltimore and New York are going to slug this out the whole way through. Boston trying to make a run. Red Sox trying to get back into it as well. And then, like I said, our division is a dog race as well. I mean, right now the Royals and the Twins occupy two of those wild card spots, the last wild card spot, and then the secondary wild card spot. But yeah. I mean, you know how to get it done. I'm gonna leave the National League to you, and then did you see my message?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 sec. But I'll let you.
So looking at the NL here, obviously the Phillies are doing Philly things. The Braves and the Mets are actually kind of close. Braves kind of been slacking a little bit lately, and the Mets have honestly just been playing absolute lights out. Took two from the Yankees in the Subway Series, with Lindor actually looking really, really good. So we have that. Looking over at the West, the Dodgers still running things. The rest of them kind of just looking iffy. And then obviously the Central, Ken doesn't want to admit it, but the Brewers are looking good, and the rest kind of just look average. The Cardinals actually don't look too bad, and so I'm pretty content about that. And my secondary team is the Reds, because I went Cincinnati. Not looking good. A lot of coaching decisions I think have to be made there. Rico, I do agree with you. I think injuries are catching up to Atlanta, so we're gonna see what happens there. So that's your MLB right now. Before we head into some college football, we're gonna take a little break, a little 30-second break. We're gonna just let you guys get that information. We're gonna come right back to you. So we'll see you in a minute.
It's Taco Day, bitch.
All right, we are back. Big Bro Ken still is doing his thing, but I'm going to kind of intro us here. Ladies and gentlemen, I talked about a lot. I talked about college football, the video game. College football itself is coming back. How soon? Less than 30 days, 29 days and 18 hours until college football is back. And so what we are going to do within the next couple of weeks is we are going to preview all conferences. We're going to see who is going to look good this year, who may not look as good as they did last year. And it's going to be a fun, because I am so excited for this season. This year or this week, we're going to start with some group of 5 teams. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to work our way up. But being from a college that was in the group of 5 a long time, I have mad respect for all those guys because they're teams that don't get as much respect as those Power 5 teams, but they play just as hard. And every single year, you see upsets from those group of 5 teams beating Power 5 teams. So we're going to start with some group of 5 teams first. I'll throw the graphic up while Ken still gets his stuff situated here. My top 10, this is going to be what I think is going to be the top 10 group of 5 teams this year. As you can see, we have Liberty, we have Boise State, we have Memphis, App State, and Tulane. Those are your mainstays, really, that you always see in the group of 5 that are ranked or like just below getting ranked, are always kind of upsetting teams. In terms of teams that be on the back half that you haven't seen too often, UTSA, Texas State, Fresno State, Miami of Ohio, which is a little bit of a tease for the MAC when we do that with Rico, and UNLV. And so these are teams that I think are going to be really, really good this year. Ken, I lined us up. We're ready to go. Let's talk about some group of 5 teams.
Okay, you know I'm OCD about the boxes staying together. So now you have your top 10 right now, and I like your top 10. We definitely want to mess with this. But before you do this, one of the things I do, big technical difficulties behind the scene. So I had to take care of something. Oop, I hit the wrong button again. Let me catch my breath. All right, so what I want to do real quick before I put your top 10 in, I want to remind the people last year, okay, here are some of the teams and how they finished in terms of ranked. Your little guys. SMU was number 1. They are now gone. They are in the ACC. They're not a little guy anymore. Troy, James Madison, Boise State, Memphis, Southern Alabama, Liberty, Tulane, UTSA, Air Force. That was your final rankings. No surprise when we go into this year. And Drew's got them up here. A lot of those teams are still there. Okay. Now, Boise State technically ranked first. I went through the college football FPI. Shout out to that. Shout out to Bill Conley. He's a writer at ESPN. I have read so much of your stuff this week. It has been absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to giving me something reading-wise to dive into while I've been watching press conferences and media days and all kinds of just random NCAA stuff. But I have Boise State 1. I don't mind Liberty being there, but these are basically the teams to kind of look out for. Boise State, James Madison, UTSA, Memphis, App State, as you see up there. There's some other teams. Tulane, like I said, we just talked about that. They popped up. Shout out to Ray. You better get that done. Fresno State, Troy, Liberty, San Diego State, San Jose State, Texas State, one on the outside sneaking into. So, bro, you have them number 1. I have them number 1. So let's dive in first with Boise State. I'm not going to lie. Okay. You were too young to remember Go ahead. Oh, did I lose you? Yep, I lost you. That's all right. You're too young to remember the good Boise State team that upset Oklahoma way back in the day in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl with the hook and ladder and the Statue of Liberty and proposing after the game. I think this Boise State team has a real chance of making a CFP run. I really do. They have Mountain West Player of the Year. Ashton Jeanty stayed with the Broncos, and he's still there at quarterback. Still there at running back, while they also picked up USC transfer quarterback Malachi Nelson. I want to give a shout out to Ashton, their running back, led the NCAA in forced missed tackles last year. You agree with me that Boise State is a team that can make some noise?
They can make some noise. That their head coach that they brought in is a longtime assistant from before, really gave juice into this team. It's an experienced roster that's going to help Malachi Nelson really get formidable to the offense and everything like that. However, the one thing that could hold them back, they have a horrendously tough starting schedule in Oregon, Washington State, and Oregon State. And that is going to define what their season, I think, is going to be the rest of the year, because that is going to be tough.
No, I agree. I think the thing, that's going to help them, that could help them, is if they dominate the rest of the Mountain West, They lose to Oregon, maybe beat Washington State, maybe lose to Oregon State. Let's say they go 1-2 in those games, and then they run the table. I think they could get in, because I think then the committee would look at a team that dominated their conference and played well in one of those games. Now, you mess around and go 2-1, but let's say they beat the Pac-2, okay, and then they lose to Oregon. That's a pretty good one-loss team, depending on what else goes around in there. Another team. You got anything else on Boise State? Because I'm just going to kind of roll. Another team that's kind of up there with Boise State, depending on who you talk to, their preseason. But like I said, in the college football FBI, they're second, and that's James Madison. I think James Madison is going to get hit by something very unfortunate, and I think they're going to take a step back, and the reason is they lost the coach who brought them to this point, brought them on the cusp of a bowl berth that they were unjustly not given. They should have been given that bowl berth. But Kurt Cianetti left for Indiana. Quarterback Jordan McLeod, gone. Their top 4 running backs, gone. Their top 5 passing targets, gone. 14 of 18 defenders with 300-plus snaps, gone. That includes their top 5 defensive linemen and 8 of their top 10 DBs. This is a place that you have to now recover while you're also trying to make the transition into being an FCS school. That is beyond difficult. Head coach Bob Chesney's coming in. He won at Holy Cross. I think we're going to see James Madison take a really, really big step down, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is, to put this kind of into soccer perspective, this is kind of what you see when a team gets promoted and immediately just gets taken for parts because they realize how many good players are on that team, and then they immediately get relegated again because they don't have anybody left. So yeah. I think I like James Madison. I love the spirit, but the reason I didn't have them in my top 10 is because I just do not think that they have the ability to bounce back from such a devastating loss like they did.
No, I agree. And remind me, please, viewers or you, of this when we're talking about James Madison, when I mentioned another team from Conference USA here in a little while. Keeping it rolling. Another team expected to do big things this year. I wanted to see where you have them. You have them 6th on your list. And that would be the UTSA Roadrunners. Okay, a team with some big expectations, a 5th-year head coach in Jeff Traylor, who is 39-14 overall. But they're probably coming into the biggest expectations as a school that they have ever had. I want to give some love to this coach because, it's UTSA. Or who is this guy? I know he's 39-14, but is he any good? Well, Texas A&M and Houston have thought so because both have interviewed him. But another big year, and I don't think he's going to be there anymore.
Yeah, especially you have this great running back, Convarian Barnes, that's going to just absolutely carry the load for this team. A stout defense. And honestly, I think this might be a little biased here. You are in, I think, the toughest conference for a group of 5 team in the American. Yeah. Because you have Tulane, you know what I mean? Like, you have all of these good teams that it's not like,
you're biased
a couple of the conferences where it's 1 or 2 teams and then it's the rest. The American is good top to bottom. Memphis, Tulane, all of these teams. And so Navy. I like UTSA. Navy now, yeah, Navy, and now Army. And so you have these teams that I think could viably go to a championship and win their conference. But I think that, unfortunately, due to none of these teams being a 2016 UCF, being a 2019 or 2021 Cincinnati Bearcats, you don't have that team that's going to be able to run through the table. And I think they're just going to beat each other up and potentially lose a bid to the CFP because of that.
Yeah, I could see that. Devin McCune is a name to listen for, as well as their young quarterback, Owen McCown. Okay. Now, Drew talked to you about a stout defense. Here's why. They are returning 11 defenders who saw at least 2 545 snaps on an already top 75 defense. That's what's going to carry UTSA if they're going to go somewhere this year. Speaking of the American and speaking of Memphis, the Memphis Tigers, a team that you are very familiar with, bro, but just kind of like basketball. Now, if you're new to college football, when I say Clemson, you think Dabo Swinney, national championships, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. If you're a college football fan for a long time and you hear Clemson, you think of choking and losses and losing on the big stage. Memphis has kind of taken that over.
Yeah.
Memphis, and that's the basketball team as well as the football team. Memphis comes in once again with big expectations. And the question once again is, when is this school going to carry those expectations and actually get it done?
No, you're absolutely right. And the thing is they're immediately going to have to prove it, because they're playing Florida State in one of the first weeks of the season. And that is going to be a defining game for this program. But they have the tools to do it. They bring back all ACC players in at quarterback with Sam Hennigan, wide receivers Rock Taylor and Demir Blankuzmi, and running back Mario Anderson. This offense is ready to take on these teams. The defense is going to have some catching up to do, but this is, again, a team, like you said, with so many expectations. One of the favorites in the American with Tulane and UTSA, but they have to get it done.
So I'm a little upset with you because you just rattled off the first half of what my notes are going to be, but that's okay. 100% about those guys as you're returning, but they did something else that not a lot of other teams have been able to do on the smaller end. But when you're Memphis and you have the money that Memphis seems to be kind of pumping in, they added 29 transfers, okay, including Tennessee's leading tackler, Elijah Herring, South Carolina's leading rusher, and Mario Anderson, plus 5 more FBS starters, 5 FCS standouts. So that would be 9 on offense to help an already good one. But you just talked about it. Their defense was a little, well, they just added 20 new players to that defense. So, Memphis, if you're going to turn it around, here you go. You were able to dip in the transfer portal, do something that a lot of these smaller teams are not able to do. Come on.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm excited for this one, okay? This is a good one for me. You have them ranked 4th, and that would be everyone's favorite underdog, the Appalachian State Mountaineers, okay? I'm all in, bro. I'm all in, okay? I think this team is going to flirt with the college football playoffs, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? Here's your case for it, Appalachian State. Joey Aguilar, 3,700 touchdowns, okay? Back. Top 5 wide receivers, back. 15 veterans on this defense, come on back. This team has an upset of Michigan, we all remember. It has the upset of Texas A&M that we all now remember. The Hail Mary win over Troy with game day in attendance, okay? Enough of the moments, singular, throughout the seasons. I think this is the year that Appalachian State and that beautiful campus, I think they put it all together.
Unfortunately, I'm thinking it's going to be more of the same, where they have the talent to get that big win, to get that absolutely statement victory, and then somewhere along the line they get beat down in the conference and it just kind of fades. I think they're really good. I think that they have a chance, but I think that there is some lack of depth in this team, especially on the defensive end, that's going to cause them some issues. And so we'll see what happens, but I'm on the pessimistic side with this team, where in other teams in this list, I'm more optimistic.
Whatever. Moving on. Pro App State here. Pro betting on App State here too. We will talk about some of that stuff later. All right, let's get together then with a team I think that everybody likes or apparently doesn't like, depending on what side of that you're on, and that would be the Tulane Green Wave. Slept on. I don't think we picked up on Tulane last year. We were talking about them on the show when they were jumping into the top 25s and stuff like that. You were talking about a team that has won 23 games in 2 years, and now you're opening up 12 teams to the playoffs. You're talking about 12-2, an AAC title, and a Cotton Bowl win over USC in 22. That's Caleb Williams and USC in 22. Okay, then 11 wins, an AAC title last year. But as a theme with all of these schools, that was Willie Fritz's team, who is now at Houston, and Michael Pratt, their top quarterback, has been drafted. Their top receivers, gone. So John Summerall from Troy brought in some guys. He's brought in some blue chippers, Ty Thompson, a quarterback from Oregon, wide receivers from USC, Bama, and LSU. So he's trying to get Tulane back, but Tulane's been slept on. Now you've got some openings. Now you've got some opportunities here with more spots. Can the Tulane Green Wave ride the wave?
They're going to create their own wave, actually. Now, Tulane, like you said, they lost head coach and quarterback. They still kept some good pieces. And I think they are going to be a challenger for the American. But very similarly to when any good Group of 5 team loses their players via the draft or via transfer portal, you are going to have just a little bit of letdown. And I think this is going to be a team that I think initially struggles and I think finds its way later on in the season, but I think it might be a little too late. I think it's going to be there's going to be some growing pains, and I think that's what's going to cost them the championship there.
In college football, there are down seasons at even great programs. The less your program has in terms of 5- and 4-star recruits, the harder the turnover is when you lose your stars. At these smaller schools that we're talking about today and even next week, it's damn near impossible when you turn over like that. It just is. Now with NIL and stuff, are the turnover years going to go down from maybe 3 to 2 or from 2 to 1 at certain schools? Yes. But the likelihood of Tulane going out and putting up another 10, 11, 12 game winning season after losing what they've lost and bringing in a head coach for all these teams, it's going to be tough. It really is. Yeah. That's why there's some of these teams with a little bit more consistency. Appalachian State, who else were we just talking about earlier? UTSA, UTSA. Liberty. Yeah, the teams with some more consistency. That's when you're going to have, or some continuity and some consistency there in the coaching staff. That's when you're going to have an easier time winning. Speaking of which, coaching's being the most important part. The Fresno State Bulldogs, you have them on your list, I do believe, in the 7th. Yes. No, I'm sorry, the 8th position there. In Andrew's top 10. I love that it was your top 10. You just did your own thing there. I got no beef with it. I like it. And you carried it because I needed you behind the scenes while I was fixing the mess. Jeff Tedford and the Fresno State Bulldogs are projected favorites in all 10 games this year, -2. Those two, Michigan and UCLA. That's not bad, okay? But it's going to come down to whether or not their coach is there. I know that might sound weird. Why does that sound weird? He resigned, because of health concerns after a disappointing 19 season, and they said leading up to his resignation that there was some dip in play. Then in December, then last December, he had to step away from the team again due to some health concerns, and the team slipped up right after that. So for Fresno State, unfortunately, if they can keep their coach healthy, they're going to be in good position to get this done. The problem is, and I hate to bring up, and I hate to sound like, the guy who unfortunately says only bad things when he comes up, our guardians, Tito, when your manager and your coach is not around and you have to bring other guys in, especially on a football team with schemes and rotations and game plans, it's going to be hard to win football games. So it's not surprising that Fresno State dips when their coach isn't around.
Yeah, and that is, initially, when I was reading to this team, I was like, this team is top 5 team in Group of 5. This team can challenge. They're returning 8 stars on offense. They're going to run the ball relentlessly with Malik Sherrod and a great old line. They're gonna kill it. And then I went, but what if the coach isn't there? And that's why I dropped them so low, because the uncertainty of that makes players just perform a little worse. And so that's why it is a little bit tougher to put them so high. But listen, if he comes in and goes, I'm here, I'm staying, they immediately jump back up the rankings, and I'm going to be watching them because they're going to get it done. But that is the big question mark.
Right. No, I agree. And it's like first, and I know it goes without saying, but we have to say it nowadays. Man, I hope this guy is okay. Okay, Coach, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you nothing but with the best health possible. But we have to talk about it. It's an on-field thing. We have to talk about it. So, unfortunately, that's kind of how that will go for Fresno State. So, good luck to them, and I want to see Coach healthy so that they're putting it out on the field. You know, it's the results on the field that are determining whether or not they're making it, not because behind the scenes there's a mess going on. Moving on. And I don't know. Where are they on the Andrew Straub top 10? They're not on the Andrew Straub top 10. So, they're on mine. Oh, I didn't know we had 2. Well done, sir. I didn't know you had mine up here. Number 8, Troy. Lost their head coach to aforementioned Tulane. We just got done talking to them. But a little bit of love here. Lucky agrees. They hired former Notre Dame offensive coordinator Gerald Parker as their head coach. So only big things ahead for Troy, whose last 2 head coaches have been successful as well. Huge turnover on this team, though. But the veterans that they do have coming back, 2 wide receivers, 3 offensive linemen. So if you are going to bring back some veterans, at least have it be some skill position players and some guys on the offensive line. But remember, this is not, and I want to point this out because you just kind of threw me under the bus there. This is not my top 10. This is the college football FPI top 10 non-big conference. So this isn't mine. But Troy, talk to me about the men of Troy.
This is going to be, I think, a rough year for Troy, which is why I didn't put them in my top 10. Back-to-back Sun Belt champions. And so that was really good. And then you lose your head coach. You lose your quarterback, and you replace him with a quarterback from West Virginia who's thrown 13 passes in his college career. And then you have to replace the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year in running back Kimani Vidal. So it's going to be very tough because you were just replacing. It's very similar to James Madison, where you are replacing basically everybody. And so this is going to be tough. But Troy is a team that has notoriously can just build from nothing. And so I wouldn't be surprised if early on they start to get ahead of steam and they start challenging for things. But you never know with college football, and that's why we love it so much.
100%. But that's why Troy, like I said, 2 successful head coaches. Pat, you know what I mean? They've been able to build at that small school. So I don't want to just dismiss them. But I'll be honest, and I will switch back over to mine. Once again, Troy, James Madison, 2 teams for me that would not be on this list. And I'm not sure about Tulane either. So honestly, I think from your list, probably Liberty, I don't know about, we'll let you talk about your Miami of Ohio, but yeah, I'm not sure which of these teams I would have swap over, but I do know for me, Troy, James Madison definitely would be down a lot further. Let's get to your number 1. Let's get to a lot of people's favorite underdog from last year. A team that I kind of have some mixed feelings about. Let's talk about Liberty, the Liberty Flames, who I learned during their media day are a Christian university. That's not good, bad, indifferent. I didn't know
that.
I had no idea. Was I supposed to know that? I didn't know. But Liberty University, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people's favorite underdog last year until Oregon put a whooping on them boys, 45-6. Bo Nix is still throwing completions and touchdowns from that game. They have it the easiest of all these non-Power 5 teams in that Conference USA is theirs and nobody else's. And I have dove into So much Conference USA right now, I can't even figure out which correct English word to use, okay? And it's Liberty, okay? Shout out to all the guys from Conference USA and all the coaches and all the teams, but this is Liberties and Liberties only. So take care of business, and you could be there.
Yeah. And this is why they're my favorite in my rankings. This is what the College Football Playoff Committee has basically outlined for a Group of 5 team to place as high as they will and make the playoffs. You need a good season the year before. They were 13-1. They lost to Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl, so they need that precedent, and they did that foundation. You need to retain your key starters. They kept star quarterback Caden Slater and star running back Quentin Cooley. And
also 2 veteran offensive linemen, 6 key defensive starters, 2 in the trenches, 3 on the back end. Please continue your point.
And finally, you need to convincingly win your games. And you know what? When App State is your hardest game on your conference schedule or your schedule in general, that is going to be it. They've won 8 games in the 4 straight seasons. If they do basically what they did last year, I think that they're a shoe-in to be that Group of 5 team. And they have all the tools to do it. They just need to get it done.
They are a shoe-in till they meet Joey Aguilar and my Appalachian State Mountaineer. Okay. That's going to be a good one, though. But, I mean, Liberty has all of the talent in the world to do it. I mean, they absolutely do. I think the scary thing for them now is you got your chance. Okay, Liberty. We gave you Oregon. We didn't just throw you a small school. We gave you Oregon, and they dog walked you. Okay.
Yeah, that was the difference between Cincinnati that year when we went, because we lost by Georgia by a field goal, a last-second field goal, and then they won back-to-back national championships the next year. So it was one of those things where we played them.
Didn't dog walk you.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying is they were able to compete with Georgia and gain the respect of the College Football Playoff Committee to start us as high as they did. It's going to depend on how Liberty is seen coming into the year, how high they're going to rank, because you, as a Group of 5 team, you could only jump so high week to week just because of who you're playing.
Let me tell you why you're wrong, but you're right. Okay, it is going to be how the committee looks like them. Throw that Cincinnati comparison out the window. Okay, you played with Georgia. Okay, looked like the better team on that field. Okay, and they got you in the end because the athletes came through. You know, the fact that the third string for Georgia is still 4 stars
and on 3rd and 2.
Okay, here he goes. But don't do this. Georgia's third string is 4 stars. No offense. At the time, Cincinnati's second string was some 3 stars. You know what I mean? So you're going to have a gap there. Okay. Now you've closed that gap. You're in the Big 12. You hear now. Okay. You see roof or, you know, go Bearcats, rah, whatever Bearcats do, all that. Claw. You played well with Georgia. You go into the next year, you come into South Bend, Indiana, and you upset Notre Dame. Okay, you built off that Georgia game. Liberty, you better have built or learned something off of that Oregon beatdown. Now, don't get me wrong, that Oregon team, look how many players are now swapped over to the NFL from Bo Nix down to the receivers, and you know what I mean, and the running backs and offensive linemen. So guys all over the place went to the NFL. But hey, there's going to be another Oregon this year. So can you had a chance to compete and you got smacked. Why do we respect Boise State? They went there and won. We respect Cincinnati because they went out there and competed. You go out there and get smacked, you better come in and play well against a big team this year, and you're not going to get that chance again.
Yeah.
So, absolutely right. All right, let's move on to another one. San Diego State. Okay, you have them. I have them in the 9th.
Not on my list.
You do not have them on your list. Like I said, the FBI believes in San Diego State. Head coach Sean Lewis has gone. What a journey. Has gone from the head coach at Kent State to Deion Sanders, offensive coordinator at Colorado, to now being the head coach at San Diego State. My biggest interest in this team, because we obviously know that the coach has seen it at all levels. how he takes former Golden Flash stars running back Marquez Cooper and wide receiver Jashawn Polk and gets them going on this level. Polk went to West Virginia last year and it did not go well. Reunites with his old coach at a smaller school, an opportunity to get the ball in his hands. San Diego State. Is there a reason the committee has them this high? Do you believe in this team?
I think generally, I think it's just the hype, if I'm being completely honest. You have good running backs coming in. You have good wide receivers coming in. You have a quarterback battle. You have Florida State transfer A.J. Duffy and true freshman Danny O'Neal fighting it out in camp. And you have an exciting new head coach. I think that there is going to be a little bit of a letdown. I think there's going to be a lot of hype around this team. San Diego State is always a fun, electrifying team, and they're going to get that with their new head coach. But I think very similar to Tulane, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be something there that isn't clicking, whether it's the quarterback and they might have to make a change, or the defense just isn't up to par. There's going to be some struggle there, and I think San Diego State's just it's gonna be a team that's gonna need a year or two to fully get to where they want to be. I think they're gonna get there. I think that San Diego State is gonna be a team that's gonna be a team to reckon with later in a year or two. But I think right now they're too fresh. They're too down in the middle of the rebuild to really see how good they can be.
All right. I don't disagree with you. Like I said, these are not my rankings. I just went off of theirs and I kind of based it and kind of dove into each team from there. I do agree with you though. I'm not high on this team, not in a bad way. It's just I don't think it's gonna be there. Now we're gonna have some fun because we have one team left that's on both of our lists. Well, it's on your list, not on my list, but I still did some work on it. That would be Texas State. And then from there, we're kind of going to get to have some fun because I've got two teams that you don't have on your list, and you've got, I do believe, two teams, yes, that I don't have on my list. So we're going to kind of get to bounce back and forth and share those. So let's talk about Texas State. Okay, Texas State high up on that list. After spending since the 2014 season in triple digits, okay, on offense, this team has moved up into the 50s, okay, under second-year coach G.J. Kine, who came in after leading a prolific Incarnate World offense to the FCS semis. If you know college football real deep and you know anything about Incarnate World, you know those offenses are crazy, and you know a little name named Cam Ward. You may have heard of him before. That guy who transferred over there down to the U. He also came from there. Shout out to my guy, David, Cedar Hill, Texas holding us down. Go Cowboys. But veteran quarterback for Texas State, veteran wide receivers, a veteran line. All things set up for a sleeper, Drew.
And no, this team is a good team that honestly we may have on weekly because this team could be the team that just throws a wrench in everything. Second in the Sun Belt West, they beat Rice in their bowl game last year. James Madison quarterback Jordan McLeod transferred in. They have a strong rushing attack, lots of experience, a tough secondary. And you know what? It's not a tough schedule by any means. But they play a team that's on our list in UTSA. They play a very beatable Arizona State team. And this team could be a team that we look at week 10, week 11 and go, they haven't lost a game yet. And so
I know
this Texas State team is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Is it too early?
Sprinkle it in the parlays, baby.
Oh, listen,
sprinkle it in the parlays.
Right, Texas State is going to be sprinkled into all those parlays for a few weeks before they burn me. Okay, until they burn me. All right, just be prepared. Be prepared for some Texas State over/unders. Be prepared for some Texas State money lines against Texas A&M University of the Blind. There's going to be, we're going to be
Arkansas State, Old Dominion, UL Monroe, Southern Miss, South Alabama. Let's go.
Ooh, sound like Landon's getting a big added addition to the D1 fund. That's what that sounds like, baby. Back that Brinks truck over to me. DraftKings, Bet365, FanDuel, whoever the hell wants to sponsor us, and my degeneracy. All right, speed round. I will let you go first. You pick whichever one of your two teams you want to go with and go.
All right. So first, it's a blue preview of the MAC, but Miami, Ohio, 11 wins and the MAC title last year. A little lack of depth, but plenty of talent to make a challenge again. And what did we say about Liberty? If you win a bunch of games the year before, you are going to be set up for success in the CFP the next year. I like Miami, Ohio. Well, I actually hate Miami, Ohio as a Cincinnati Bearcat, but I like them to play well this year again and challenge for the MAC title again.
I was like, yeah, y'all are close. I was like, why the unnecessary hate for a team, for one of our MAC teams? No, I got you.
And they beat us
All
last
right.
year. We have a rivalry.
Love it. All right, my turn.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about non-Power 5 schools? Okay, you want to talk about offenses that run it up. You want to talk about Pac-12 after dark, we want to talk about NCAA 25 bringing a team back to glory. Let's talk about Hawaii. The Hawaii Warriors. Yeah. College football is better when Hawaii is good in scoring loads of points. Okay. Number one. And now, if you're my age and you remember the good teams of the past, Colt Brennan, rest in peace, and Timmy Chang, the quarterback wide receiver connection, just doubling up your points at all times on your parlays. Well, Timmy Chang is now in his third year as Hawaii's coach. Okay. And he's finally got this program turned around. They rank, and this is a beautiful stat. I love this. This is great. They rank 7th nationally in returning production. Okay. They keep a stat, how many guys come back, especially now with the transfer portal and stuff like that. Yes. Hawaii is 7th. Okay. Now, it would not be Hawaii if we did not talk about the quarterback position. Braden Shager, 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, top 6 wide receivers, back to Hawaii, looking to bring Hawaii back on the national radar again.
I love it. Anytime a Hawaii team is good, it feels like college football just is
better.
so much better. It's so much better.
Absolutely. You've got one more, and I've got one more. So go ahead. Give me your last, guys.
Yes. It's funny you said Hawaii because the team that I have plays Hawaii November 9th at 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. And that is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV. Now listen, if you were talking about a team, no, it's football, baby. And you know what? If you look at this schedule, this is literally upset central. They are playing week 1, Houston, week 3, Kansas, week 4, Fresno State, week 5, Syracuse, week 6, Utah State, week 7, Oregon State, Boise State, Hawaii, San Jose State, and Nevada to finish it off. The second season for breakout head coach Barry Odom. The toughest part is replacing Jaden Boy, who left for USC, but they have kept star wide receiver Ricky White and 4 of the 5 offensive line starters. This team has the potential to cause insane amounts of chaos everywhere they go, and this is why I'm loving it, because UNLV is just a team that has always been a basketball school, but every once in a while they get a somewhat decent football school, and it just is amazing to watch.
I'm laughing because you just got me so excited. I started scrolling through my notes and was like, I don't have anything on UNLV. I was like, wait, where's my UNLV note? I don't have any. Yeah. I'm here for it. Let's go. Like UNLV, Hawaii. Let's do it. Now UNLV, real talk. They make a run. They're in. So you know, they're not out here with they're a small team, but they're not out here in the small conferences. So they can make a run. Where is UNLV? They're not in the Mountain West. What?
They don't have a team. They don't have a conference.
UNLV is one of our indies. Hey, shout out to you, UNLV. All right, I like it. Man, that you just pumped me up for that. I like that. All right, so I got one more for you. Okay, now this is fun for me. Okay, because I didn't realize this at first. Normally, I would be doing nothing for the past 2 months but reading college football articles and stuff like that. But I had to pay attention to other sports for our show and go to live events and do stuff like that. So then when I started to dive in, I found my new favorite team. Okay. I love sports too. Okay. Shout out to you, Keita. I love them too. I found my new favorite team of the year. I'm going to bet on them so much. I'm going to lose all of the money that I would have been adding into the D1 fund. and that would be the San Jose State Aztecs. Why? Why, you say? Okay. Now, I'm in a year early. I'm just letting everybody know. I'm in a year early. Next year is when this team is going to happen. Well, let me give this to you. Okay. Now, I do remember my takes. Okay. I remember the things that I say. I remember the dumb things that don't come true. And I remember the genius things that I rattle off when I told you Texas was going to be in this year, when I told you Bama with one loss would be in, the things that I have gotten right. I told people years ago when I was younger and he was there, but then when he was getting close to being let go, and then when he was fired, okay, I said when Coach Ken Niumatalolo of Navy at the time, okay, I said when he gets hired to a real school and he gets some talent, that man is going to be something to reckon with in college football. Shout out to the San Jose Aztecs, okay, because they hired him, okay. Now, after spending a year as UCLA's football director of leadership, he has been hired in, and he did something very smart. He brought in Craig Stutzman, who would be the first offensive coordinator for Ken without an option background. Okay? We're done with this Navy. We're done with this triple option. Okay? I've said it for years that if this guy gets recruits, he was going to do something. Okay? Now he's on the West Coast. He's going to have better recruits by default. No disrespect to our military academies. We're obviously pro-military academy on the show, but this is just facts. Okay? Everybody is saying that this team is not going to be anything to play with until 2025 because of the turnover. Remember how I gave you that ranking for Hawaii? 7th in production returning? I almost called them San Diego State. San Jose State is 131st.
Oof.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's because Ken Niumatalolo, he's going to come in, he's going to reshape, and I know I'm butchering the last name, so I apologize. He's going to reshape this program. He's going to remold it. He's going to get guys out, okay? And it's a little bit different with the Navy. Everybody's bought in before they get to the football team for the Army and Navy team.
Yeah.
Okay? These guys are bought in off the dotted line. He is going to get guys in that are going to buy in, and it's going to be something. Quarterback Jay Butterfield, senior wide receivers Nick Nash, what a name, and Justin Lockhart are going to have to be the guys that lead the line and lead this change. But I'm telling you right now, San Jose State is going to upset somebody this year, and they're going to win a couple games or be close in the game, and the national media is going to start to pick up on it, and they're going to start talking about Ken, and they're not this Ken Niumatalolo. They're going to start talking about him, and you heard it here first with the butchered last name. How do I say his last name? I always mess it up. But that's mine. You knew it. You knew I was going there.
I love it. I love it because, listen, it is so much fun to watch these small schools, not even small schools, just schools that aren't in your power conferences, just play a style of football that you know everyone has bought into, and they are ready to reckon with literally anybody they come across, and it's so fun to watch.
Absolutely. That's what, yeah. Hold on. I'm finding the video right now. I got to mute myself here. So, all right. You want to talk a little Conference USA? I got something else on Conference USA.
Do you know?
Yes. I wanted to. Hold on. Here, I'll play this for the people. No, not that. Niumatalolo. I was not far off. I was not far off. That was pretty good of me. That was just riveting entertainment there. Seeing how badly I butchered his name, and I actually.
That was great.
Shout out to being back in college football, where the names are a lot easier than the Euros. I want to give a quick FC. I want to give a quick Conference USA shout out. Liberty's going to run away with it. Okay, here's your fun little team to go check on every once in a while. Kennesaw State. They've only been playing football since 2015, okay? And now they are in a conference that at some point could produce a college football playoff team, okay? So that is ridiculous. I want to give a shout out to their coach, Brian Moynihan. He's the only coach that they have ever had. He is 70-30. Why pay attention to this team? Yeah, bro. Here's why you pay attention to this team. They were 5th in the FCS last year in turnover margin, 9th in scoring defense, and 15th in total defense. And I'd argue
You're coming
while
with my facts
offensively,
over here.
yeah, and I'd argue while offensively a guy might head elsewhere to get these snaps on the offensive end, defensive guys have zero issue going to a big school and getting limited snaps and making big plays and still getting drafted. So for him to have these guys sticking around and playing on a defense like this is huge. And this is something that I learned during watching their 4.5 hours of Conference USA Media Day.
Oh,
When the year they jumped, okay, they redshirted 75% of their roster, which means in the year of transition where you lose that depth and you lose all these guys, we've been talking this entire podcast about losing all these guys in the transfer portal. Kennesaw State said, well, we're here. We're not going to drop down. So we're going to hold on to all these guys till next year. That is a genius play. Okay. That is a genius play. About as genius as this snazzy shirt I got on. All right. Create your own wave. Straub Bros, Solo Polo. All right. Kennesaw State. Bob Moynihan. Watch out.
I love it. I am so ready for college football.
Me too.
Okay.
All right. We have one last thing. We have one last thing to talk about. Let's talk about the Pac-2 real quick. Rest in peace to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the Pac-12 conference. I'll start real quick. Oregon State. New head coach Trent Bay comes in a tough spot because there's obviously all kinds of turmoil in this conference. But they've also have an offense that no longer has DJ Uiagalelei. Shout out to the Samoan names that I am actually killing this week. And even though DJ was inconsistent, he could put up some throws, he could put up some points. That is gone, as well as two-time All Pac-12 running back Damian Martin. Now, they do have returner Jam Griffin, Colorado transfer Anthony Hankerson to help anchor an explosive backfield. But the defense is going to be everything for them. The defense is a very talented defense that also added some transfers from LSU and Liberty transfer and All-Conference USA cornerback Kobe Singleton. So trying to do some retooling there for Oregon State, but it's going to be a tough sledding for both of these teams. But Oregon State,
listen, I love the Pac-12. I loved them so much because it was just points and late games and everything, and then they had to screw it up. But so now you're seeing both these teams play basically Mountain West Conference games every year or every week, and it's kind of sad because you really hoped that these teams, that something would be figured out or they'd go to another conference, but it seems more sad that they're holding the conference together than them just disbanding the conference. I'm not going to even register that.
I like the dad joke there.
I'm not going to register that one.
I like that. The West Coast, Tupac. The Pac-2, the two-pack. Pac-2. I like it.
I think that's a good way to end it.
The other Pac-2 member, like we said for Oregon State, the defense is the best unit for the Beavers with talent on all levels. Washington State, you could kind of say, is the opposite. They finished 6th in defense in the Pac-12 last year, which is hilarious. Head coach Cal Smith is 15-16 in 2.5 years as head coach. 9 losses by 8 points or less, though. So, yes, not the greatest record, but, man, he keeps them in the game. But now they lost Cam Ward to Miami, their other quarterback to San Jose State, 5 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 offensive tackles. But they added a quarterback from a school called Bryant, a wide receiver from a school called AP, 2 wide receivers, one from Oregon and one from La Tech. So we're absolutely back on Washington State overs and Pac-2 overs, baby. Pac-2 After Dark is back. Pac-2 overs, baby. Let's go. Because all I know is this. I don't know if that kid came from Bryant or Stratton, but they must throw if he's going to Washington State.
Listen, we should have done this first because this is so depressing to talk about. I don't like I want them to do well, but my lord, I can't get excited for a conference that has two teams in it. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. They're like, you're guaranteed a conference championship appearance. I don't like. You can't. I love them. I wish them the best of luck. I think Washington State actually will beat Oregon State in the conference rankings, which we'll see what happens. But
You sound like a hater.
yeah,
You sound like a hater. I'm
it's
telling
just
you, listen.
it's so hard to get up for this. I'm sorry. I'm trying my hardest here, but
Listen,
it's
you're not getting up for the conference. You're just getting up for these two teams. Okay. So shout out to
you're right.
Oregon State. And like I said, Washington State, the Cougars are back. All right. There's a kid from Bryant coming. Okay. Bryant Gumbel,
And listen,
Des Bryant. All right. I don't care. I don't care if it's Bryant Gumbel, Des Bryant, Kobe Bryant. Okay.
and then yeah, just make sure if you guys are interested, make sure you get your network subscriptions up because you're gonna be watching a lot of the CW.
Hey, I think that one's on the one for free. So I'm cool with that. We'll take some CW, a little
There
Charmed,
you go.
a little Supernatural, little Pack 2. I'm here for it. I like it. I like my Winchesters and my Washington State Cougars, baby. I'm here for it. Okay. I'm all about it. Let's go. And yes, listen, man, if the Lakers are gonna raise up a damn in mid-season tournament banner, you absolutely get to hang the Pac 2 championship banner, Dad. I am here for that. I'm done. That was great.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been the
That was the
beginning
show.
of this has been the beginning of our college football playoff. That is absolutely too much fun. Here, I want to do this real quick while we're on the show. Next week, bro, we are going to do. So which conferences do we have left?
We got the SEC, we got the Big 10, we got the Big 12, and we have the
MAC.
ACC.
Well, we have the
and
MAC.
the MAC.
Are we doing the American?
We just kind of did it. I'm good. Group
Okay.
of fives, we're all good.
So next week we're gonna do the MAC. And what else you want to do?
Let's do the ACC.
You want to do the MAC and the ACC? Okay. So when we are done, me and you are going to do a draft. Okay, and pick the teams that we're going to select. We're going to go like snake order. We're going to select teams from each conference, and we'll preview those teams. We'll kind of go like a little back and forth. I mean, if we want to mention something about said team, that's fine, but we'll kind of go back and forth. There was a lot less teams to talk about in this non-Power 5 kind of setup, so it was much easier for us to kind of dive in together. I don't want to turn our college previews into 3-hour shows as much as I want to sit and talk about college for 12 hours a day. But so we'll do that. I was going to try to do that live on the air, but with your connection, there's absolutely no way for us to do some kind of draft like that. So we'll set that up after. And I think we'll post it. You want to post it? I think we'll post it. We'll post it to the show. We'll let you know which teams that me and Straub have drafted. He's lucky we didn't do the Big 12 because I'm going to be a dick and draft Cincinnati on purpose. So you can't talk about them and only I can. But that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, major, extensive college football previews, just like today. We wanted to give you the little guys first because as we get rolling to the college football season, it's going to be all Ohio State, all Notre Dame, all Alabama, all Georgia. So a lot of these little guys will get lost. So we'll be referencing this, giving the little guys some love here. But as we get rolling, the 216 Sports Network, that's where you have been able to find us here today. The Facebook page, follow and like. Please send us stars. The YouTube page, like and subscribe. And I mean, I got to thank all of you, all 5,000 plus subscribers on the 216 Sports Network YouTube page. You guys have been amazing. Some of our videos are just blowing up in terms of views. Like I said, our Akron City Media Day, 1.5K. A couple of other our videos and our shows from last week and a couple weeks before have hit over 1,000 views. We really appreciate it. We really, truly do. Here on the 216 Sports Network, that's where you can find all of us. And remember, when I say all of us, there's a lot of us. And that would be these guys. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. Like I just said, Mel just put out a new episode this week. If you are a martial arts fan, please make sure you go check it out. It was a great show. I tuned in for it. Make sure you check it out. The Jay Rich Show. The Rulers Minute with Rico McGee and my man Rico put out 3 episodes. Make sure you go check out Mac Media Day, his show, as Rico will be on next week to talk to Mac with us. Outside Interference with Bob, and the Straub Sports Show. Straub Sports Show. You can find us anywhere and everywhere you want to be, like an American Express card, baby. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS. You can find us on Twitter, X at Straub Bro Sports. You can find us on Instagram, Straub Bro Sports Show. You can find us on Spotify, Straub Bro Sports Show. Make sure you check that Instagram account out. The views are blowing up on it. We're doing good stuff there. We're putting our good stuff out there as well. KZ Productions on their YouTube page. Make sure you follow and like them as well. Austin, on the beach somewhere. You already know I appreciate you. Wrong sleeve. Create your own wave apparel. Don't ride the wave, create your own. Make sure you check them out on Instagram. Create your own wave 2021. Hit the apparel, CYOWapparel.myshopify.com. Don't ride that wave, create your own. Oldtimecandy.com. Make sure you get your retro candy needs. Get your fix. Promo codes all over the place on the website. SBSS is ours. Get your 15% off of that order. You will find us August 17th, Fight in the Flats, Cage Thunder MMA. You can absolutely look forward to that for us. August 11th, I want to make sure that is up too. Like I said, we'll be at Knuckleheads for an amazing Kids for Christmas fundraiser. We will be talking to former Browns legend Hanford Dixon. Straub will try to keep it together, but that's okay. Make sure you say the date. If you want to be there, hit one of us up on social media and we will take care of you. We will get you where you need to do or where you need to be to order those tickets. Drew, final shouts.
Yes, thank you all for watching and listening, no matter where you are. Have a great weekend. And before that, if you have nothing going on tonight, maybe you want to take a break from College Football 25, tonight's guest on the Jimmy Fallon Show, U.S. star Christian Pulisic.
Hey.
Watch that tonight, kind of see what's going on, see what questions he has to answer, and, relax, and glide into the weekend with some interesting soccer takes.
No offense against Jimmy Fallon. I won't be awake long enough to catch whatever time Jimmy Fallon's coming on. But I will look forward to you sending me whatever Chris talks about. I know he's going to get asked about the U.S. men's national team coaching search. So we will definitely have some conversations about that. Absolutely appreciate that. All right. That'll do it for little bro. That'll do it for big bro here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. Please have yourself a good night. Have yourself a good weekend. And please remember to love yourself.